competition. All right. I think
Who can build the best miniature fake rocket?
Yeah.
Or we can build it around Estes rockets and
Who?
see whose flies the best.
Who?
The little model rockets.
No. You got to make something out of nothing. You know, no like buying a box and anyway, we're rolling.
No, we can build
We're
a
live,
rocket
pal.
around. We can build our custom rocket around. See, already going too far. I'm already going too far.
You already have enough hobbies. You don't keep up.
Ben's
with.
gonna be building miniature rockets. Everybody.
So first thing I want to say is I need to. There's a correction I need to make. The Eternals were created by the Celestials, and the Inhumans were by the Kree. I think we wrote them all off as Kree experiments on the last podcast.
I don't.
So that's the little bit of housekeeping. Even one as wise as I
Make mistakes from time to time, Ben.
sometimes have a gaffe.
You're just mortal.
I was having my a senior moment there, and so everything. By the way, I don't know if I want to get into it. I have two things I have to say. First is I want to say I'm officially done with the CW universe of superheroes, but I think it's the Arrowverse stuff, and for some reason I'm not counting Superman and Lois Lane as part of the Arrowverse. I think by making it that they're like married with kids, they've jumped time-wise, even though they're like in 2021, it seems like. I feel like they're not in the Arrowverse anymore.
Yeah.
But man, I've been trying to watch Flash this year, and I was still recording, what's the Legends of Tomorrow? They barely have any characters that are actually superheroes in there anymore. I think it's like John Constantine, Steel, but he rarely ever turns into metal. I don't even know who else is out of the, I don't know any other characters that are like the chick's still in it, the White Canary. But like all these other characters, I don't know the quote heroes they're supposed to be from the comics. It doesn't make any sense. And they're not fighting, they're not introducing any characters they introduce now, villains or whatever. They're not I've never heard of any of these people. I think it's all made up shit now. And then Batwoman, I'm just I have no interest. I never watched any of it. I think I only watched when it crossed over.
What about Black Lightning?
It just ended.
Oh.
I watched the first half of the first season. So I think I'm done. I can't anymore. It ran its course. Even that show Legends of Tomorrow where they're we're on borrowed time. We should have been canceled 2 seasons ago.
Oh my God.
So when you're like that, or when you know it's your final season, but they've been treating the last 3 years like it's their final season, where they're just what else can we do?
Yeah.
And what other fun thing can we fuck around with? But it's got no point where I'm I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't. It's awful. It's really gone downhill.
And it's funny too because CW is they'll put any schlock out there, except for whatever the Powerpuff Girls did. They didn't pick up that. They apparently that pilot wasn't good enough. So it's.
Did they shoot that, or did someone read a script first and say
no? No, they shot the pilot.
That means we might get to see it one day.
That's what I'm hoping.
Like the Buffy pilot that is out there with a few different people. In
a little bit of the dialogue that's been released, the script that's been released, pretty cringe.
Yeah, it's
pretty
cringe.
Terrible. So
I saw it. I don't remember much about it, but I know that they were writing stupid things. It's just write, but just base it off the fucking show. That's what was popular. You're going to make a live action version of something that popular and have it in no way resemble the thing.
The reason it's popular? The
thing that was popular. It's retarded. Also, my other thing, before we get into anything else, because I'm going to let you take the reins on this episode. There was a picture, I guess, of Oscar Isaac posted from his Instagram or something.
What, Moon Knight training?
That was it wasn't even training. It was from the halfway down his nose up, and then I guess some Moon Knight stuff behind him. I don't know if it was images or comics. I don't remember what it was. like to hype people for Moon Knight. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure it's going to be a fun show. And at least in the hands of these people making these things for Disney Plus, they get the benefit of the doubt. But two things. Moon Knight, just like some of these, like we haven't had a property really yet that, like, Vision and Scarlet Witch was never like a series that ran for like 20 years in the comics. You know what I mean? Like, they had their thing. They were in the Avengers. They had mini-series, but they were never like a solo book that was like, it'll run as long as it's doing well, like some of these other things. Captain America, if it wasn't selling on the newsstand, they'd cancel it. We haven't had a show come out that was like fresh characters yet. So when they start putting out She-Hulk and Moon Knight, these are all things that they never had their own books where the books ran for 20 years because they were wild successes. You know what I mean? It was always these start and stop things. Like, it didn't do well, we cancel it, we bring it back 2 years later. New creative team runs 10 issues, didn't sell well. Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah.
And then the repeating cycle. And Moon Knight still does that. So there's no heat on this character. It's never been like if Iron Man and Captain America were your B-tier kind of characters, and Spider-Man and the X-Men were your A-tier type characters. These are your C-tier type characters.
If that.
And so, literally, if you think nobody had heard of Iron Man when Iron Man came out, fucking nobody's heard of Moon Knight. So there's no draw there. And I'm sorry to break it to all these Oscar Isaac fans. First of all, the guy is like tiny. He's a little dude. But B, the guy is not a draw. Like, you're like, oh, he's been good in some movies. Like, I've seen some movies where I'm like, he's a good actor. But like 3 Star Wars, if that's a curse of Star Wars, none of those actors are headlining big movies after Star Wars. There's no John Boyega fucking, second franchise, third franchise of other things. Like, Hemsworth has gone on and done movies. Evans is doing other movies, and people are like, oh, I want to go see that movie. He's in it. Nobody goes to theater because Oscar Isaac is in a movie, or not enough where it's like, oh, Oscar Isaac, we've got Oscar Isaac. Now we'll get $100 million budget.
It's weird because you're right, because I remember when they were, Oscar Isaac is Apocalypse, and I'm like, who is Oscar Isaac?
But see, I knew he's an indie film guy. Yeah. He's a small film guy. I mean, he wasn't in, had he done Star Wars yet? I don't even know where that landed timeline was. Or were they kind of at the same time?
I think they might have been around the same time. Because his Star Wars thing was supposed to be like a one. He's supposed to die in that first scene.
It's like the girl from Star Wars. I see she was in a movie, but wasn't she in the movie with Tom Holland that just came out? I didn't hear anything after seeing a couple ads for it. But I mean, I can't. You can blame the pandemic a little bit, but
yeah.
But man, it's like those new Star Wars movies. It's like, but again, like Carrie Fisher was never headliner of big movies. It's like Mark Hamill was never a headliner of big movies.
Harrison Ford, sir.
He was, but he's the only one. And
that was,
and the problem was he was in the new ones.
Yeah.
So he took that heat again,
So it's funny you bring up Star Wars.
But Oscar Isaac is like, he's not a draw. The character's not a draw.
Yeah.
Don't get excited.
I agree with you.
Calm the fuck down. I'm sure it'll be good.
And listen, he's competent. He's a great actor.
But if he thinks he's creating buzz with that,
it's not.
He needs to go fucking home and write on a chalkboard 100 times, I am not a draw.
Yeah, buddy, Moon Knight's not a draw.
No.
It's going to take a lot of work to make Moon Knight a fucking draw.
It will be if the first season is really good. If they figure it out.
And by the way, for those who don't know, like the Moon Knight character, there's a lot of ways that you could make that really awesome with the personalities and all that crazy shit.
I have a feeling they're going to base it on newer things. And there was a run that was really good like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago.
So it's funny you brought up Star Wars because that was one thing that kind of drove me. There was a J.J. Abrams interview this week where he basically said that.
I saw that quote.
Yeah, where he's just like, yeah, there was no plan. He's
like, in hindsight, it would have been good to have a plan.
Great to have a plan. So you're like, wait a minute. So you get Star Wars.
This far along in his career, he's now learned that lesson from Star Wars, that you should go in with a plan.
Bro.
What a dickhead. You know what? Fuck him. Fuck his DC stuff. Fuck any future Star Trek stuff he does.
I don't think he's involved in any Star Trek. So
yeah, I think
producer credit.
Yeah, but I mean, as much of a producer credit as he had with Rian Johnson's movie that did what it did, and then you're the producer on it. You signed off on it. You even quoted as saying you'd read the script and loved it, but then, here we are. Fuck him. Like, go away. Go make TV shows again. Stay out of our fucking pool because you're just shitting in the water.
So Disney learned its lesson that you can't just hey, we let filmmakers just make their movies. We don't even look at them. Ha ha ha.
Well,
because listen, man, there was no oversight.
That first one made a fucking killing.
Well, the first one was a good movie,
so they were trusting him.
I liked Force Awakens.
It's okay. It's okay. It's no Empire.
It's not, but
it's not even Jedi.
It was what it needed to be.
Rogue One was better. Anyway,
I agree.
Anyway, he needs to go away, and maybe this kind of a comment will let them finally be like, listen, that's going forward. We're not adhering. If we want to do stories that lead to that time, we're not following that timeline. Like, we're going to just do we're going to do what we want to do. And if we want to keep using Luke and he ends up not training Kylo Ren, if Han and Leia never have a child, if many of these things never come to fruition, tough titties,
It's better that way.
Yeah.
It's better that way.
Yeah.
Because I would have said fine with after.
Listen, lots of franchises have done like a soft reboot.
There's 100% course correction coming.
Yeah.
Especially under the watchful eyes of Filoni.
Yeah.
One David Filoni. It's just weird to me.
I've been watching The Bad Batch. I like it.
I need to fucking. Oh man.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the animation, like the style of it, but it's been the style of it forever. So I understand that they're sticking to it.
Yeah. So a couple $1 billion franchise, and you went into a trilogy with no idea what you were doing. You were just like, yeah, we'll just make 3 movies. They'll buy anything. Those Star Wars fans, they don't care. And in a way, they're right. I mean, same with Transformer fans. When you make $1 billion, a Michael Bay fucking horse shit.
But it's different. Because
it is a little different, and
because this was their first foray into live action movies with Transformers. There's no like, well, here's a precedence for good stuff.
Yeah.
If it doesn't measure up to this, then we don't do it.
Well, they had the animated movie, and they didn't measure up to that at all.
But that's a live action fucking whatever. You can't make that movie in.
But we did get Bumblebee.
Yeah, that was good.
And I enjoyed it. Bumblebee's the only Transformers movie that's live action other than the very first one, the 2007 one, that I'll revisit for any reason. because John Cena's in it. John Cena's great in that movie.
Yeah, I'm saying John Cena's in it. I'm not sure I liked his character that much.
He has the best line.
Yeah. But I'm not sure if I like the prickish kind of. I don't know. It didn't. I think he needed to be more of a babyface in that movie.
Well, he's new to acting still.
Well, that's not his choice. That was the director's choice on that.
Speaking.
Yeah.
So, what do we feel about Aaron Tyler Johnson pulling a Chris Evans and pulling a where it's like, hey, he was in Marvel 2 for another character, but I'm back.
Well,
by the way, I think he'll be a great Kraven.
Well, he
with some ridiculous accent that you can't place.
He's technically in Marvel adjacent, just like Evans was. It's not like he played 2 characters in the MCU. Plus, he'd done a superhero movie before that. as Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass is Kraven, sir.
So I feel like he's too young for that role.
Young?
Mm-hmm.
He's like my age, man.
He's not even 40, right?
Uh,
I feel like that's a man in his like nearing 50 or past 50. I feel like he's a guy that
he's 30.
Yeah, he's too young for that. You need somebody that you don't get bored hunting big game that early in your life where you're like, now I'm hunting the ultimate prize.
You almost want somebody like Ben Affleck's Batman's age.
Yeah, it's
late
like
40s.
Yeah, early 50s.
Yeah.
I think you need a guy more seasoned. You need a guy that's got a body like Sabu with scars and battle wounds and stuff all over it. A hard dude. Also, he's Russian, right? So even if he is 30, he's going to look 50.
Yeah.
Because that's how Russia works.
It's hard winners, buddy.
Yeah. You just don't. I just think at 30, you're not there yet. You're not like world traveled. You haven't hunted everywhere and hunted everything yet to be like now the ultimate game man.
Yeah.
I'm going to hunt men now or supermen after that because you hunt regular people and that's not enough. Now I need to hunt Spider-Men. It's always been that kind of a thing with him. So I feel like he's awful young for the role. I don't hate it. They must have just heard his Sokovian accent and said, "We need that." He doesn't even need. We could save $10
This
on
misplaced Eastern European accent.
we could save $10 on a voice coach. He's already had the lessons. So there's that. He's fine. I feel like
I just don't understand why Sony has to make a movie out of every rogue that Spider-Man has.
Because they have the rights to it.
Oh, that's the only things that they do have the rights.
When they bought the rights, they have the rights. If they wanted to make a Spider-Man movie, they could make one tomorrow.
Yeah.
They have the rights to Spider-Verse. So all the like Black Cat's in the works, all this stuff. I think they're trying to. Listen, if there's a way to make like Venom made a lot of money for them. Some of it in China, which might be a problem this time around. But
Venom's one of those movies that did so well over there that because it didn't do that great over here.
It did okay, but yeah, it didn't. If we were just basing it off the U.S. box office,
it wouldn't have garnered.
You turned your mic off.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
I don't know how I did
You
that.
fidget with shit.
I do fidget, but I don't know. I didn't touch it.
I'm gonna make you. You're gonna be like the kid that used to come over to dinner, and my dad made him hold the table leg when he wasn't eating, so he would sit still. I've lost my train of thought. So yeah. So I feel like just because they've got a Kraven movie doesn't mean we're not getting Spider-Man in it. It's hard to tell a Kraven movie without Spider-Man.
Well, I think
so. Here's what I think is that they're just casting right now. Maybe they already know who their Spider-Man is. Maybe Andrew Garfield is going to start popping up in these movies.
I would imagine a Kraven movie would go something along the lines of he's out doing some crazy hunt. For him, I as a character, you would think anything he does prior to any Spider-Man nonsense is, what's the craziest hunt you can be on that might kill me kind of thing. And, like, it's too easy for him, and he gets all fucking, like, I guess, like, oh, well, what else is there kind of thing. And
then he sees something on TV.
Yeah, and then it kind of sparks his mind and interest from there. Because I remember in, like, the 90s cartoon...
He's going to, like, arm wrestle a giant bear out in Siberia.
Yeah, something like that.
And they don't get TV in Siberia.
And listen, it's superhero. You're already talking nonsense. Let him take on a Wendigo. Who cares?
Wendigo.
But I'm thinking, like, because in the 90s cartoon, he was like a TV, like a crocodile hunter kind of guy. And he wanted to come and, like, find Spider-Man in the big city and do it as, like, this big thing. And then he got embarrassed as fuck.
Yeah, that sounds stupid.
Well, I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying the different iterations that they have to play off
As soon as you said crocodile hunter, I immediately pictured him fighting stingrays.
God damn. the one prey he can't survive.
claiming all the razor tails in honor of Steve Irwin.
Oh my god!
Like instead of like crocodile teeth around his neck in a one of his necklaces that Kraven has, it's just going to be those stingray barbs.
Oh my god! Jesus Christ!
Or maybe as like one's an ear piercing or something.
Anyway, there's a lot of different ways they can go with it, but
too soon.
I do feel as if you gotta. I don't know. How do you tell a Kraven movie and not have Spider-Man?
That's why I think
it's kind of ridiculous.
See, this one's so early in the process. This multiverse of madness is going on.
Mm-hmm.
If this thing has 3 Spider-Men in it, and they decide to go with Andrew Garfield as their Sony Spider-Man because Tobey's probably too old to want to do it regularly, and he already had a Venom in his movies, so it doesn't work to go to the Sony verse that has this other Venom. So Garfield's kind of the logical choice.
Also, who's directing Doctor Strange?
Sam Raimi, baby.
I'm thinking that if everything goes well, maybe Raimi gets one more go at the Spider-Man stuff.
I don't think he wants
I've heard rumors of the possibility of it.
I don't think he wants it.
He probably doesn't, and at this point, I don't think like Tobey would either. But remember, the big rumor is that the big villain is Willem Dafoe as fucking Norman Osborn.
Yeah, but
so
we don't know more than we know. We
know
most of what we know is
speculation and internet jargon.
Is bullshit.
Yeah,
so
and who knows? And there's a lot like that gets posted. I refuse to read, man. It's one of those things where it's like I know enough about this movie. They've got my money. Like
the greatest theory I heard was that because it's a multiverse thing, and because they kind of own it, that maybe Doctor Strange is looking for a magic book, right? He's looking for the Darkhold, and he pops into a multiverse universe, and bumps into another guy that's having problems with a book, Ash from the Evil Dead.
Oh my god!
And they have like a little interaction. They each describe the book. It's neither one's the one the other guy's looking for, and then he has like that Wolverine moment in First Class where he goes, "All right,
fuck off,
fuck off, Cape," and or calls him Mr. Fancy Pants or whatever. That would be great.
That would be fucking phenomenal.
And it's not like he won't have his regular cameo in that movie.
Yeah,
might as well make it that. But I don't know. I heard that I heard that one. You know, obviously it's like wizard casting.
But here's the funny thing: is like we know now that they listen. So if you come up with an idea that's really astonishing, they might just do it.
I mean, I wish Feige heard it and was like, picked up the phone and said, "Guys, we need to add this to the reshoots."
Call Bruce. We need you, Bruce. I think Evil Dead's getting some kind of reboot, reimagining.
They're doing like a movie for HBO Max, and it's supposed to happen in the city, and it looks like it's different characters. So maybe they're just
he's not in it. Yeah,
no, it looks like, well, he might pop in, you know, but not as Ash, but like just a cameo. But I think they're expanding like the Evil Dead universe a little bit. Kind of like maybe they're kind of setting up a franchise, almost like the Army of Dead has like.
I wonder if they touch.
It looks like it's a franchise of movies.
I wonder if they touch back to the remake, and those characters.
It might be in that. It might be that universe. Yeah. I don't know, but because they announced like they're all producers on it, but this other guy's like but like Raimi's not writing or directing it. It's some other guy, so that I don't know. I read his name and didn't know who he was.
Oh, probably a long time partner, creative outlet or some shit.
No, they usually go and find some hot. The guy that did the original Evil Dead remake, went on to do some big stuff afterwards. I think. I don't know.
Did you see all these Eternal memes?
I've seen some. Some I don't understand.
It's fantastic. Well, because in the trailer, I was like, "Oh, we finally decided to come out," and all.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's going to get addressed. Everyone's like making all this stupid stuff. It's
it's great.
I mean, but you can't, like, any character you introduce now
Yeah.
that has an origin before Endgame, you're like, well, where were they?
Yeah.
But okay, if you really want to get into it, how long did that fucking whole battle last? An hour?
If that.
Did you see one person from the American Armed Forces show up? Let alone the rest of the globe.
It was so short, self-contained, and confined, and just that
Wakanda
space.
showed up because Doctor Strange did the circle stuff.
Yeah, but circle stuff.
But it's like what? No one scrambled the jets at any Air Force base, or we didn't shoot any.
It didn't take long enough.
Yeah, but so okay. So also the Eternals were like didn't know what was going. Nobody knew because nobody knew they were getting the gems back and unsnapping. So, like, it's dumb. I get it. It's a funny meme.
It is funny.
But at the same time, it's like, nobody else showed up either, including, like this was an invasion on U.S. soil. And it was an invasion of the globe again. It's not like we didn't have one 5 years earlier and that, like, maybe the world was looking for, in case another one came.
Again, mostly self-contained.
So I'm saying those memes are fucking stupid because nobody else showed up either.
But you would think after Loki and the Chitauri and New York City and that whole deal.
Right, you'd have a couple of monitoring satellites.
Yeah, you'd think you'd be like, we're going to keep an eye on that Tony Stark fellow. Yeah. Because he just seems to have mischief running around him. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll come up with things. Dude, it's just fucking funny. Because it's one of the first times where people are like, and I think a lot of it is no one knows who the fuck the Eternals are. No one understands them. We're waiting for this movie to come out to set our base for how you're going to show them to us and present them to us.
For all I know, they sleep in glass tubes for 50 years and come out for 5 days, eat someone's pancreas and go back to... Who the fuck knows what
we
this
have
is
nothing
to
base off except what we know of them in the comics, which for 90% of the people is fucking little to nothing, okay? Because...
Bro, I've read 6 issues of the new series, or however many have been out, 4, 6. I couldn't tell you what I read. It's it's this weirdo esoteric shit, you know? It's like... I don't grasp, it's like half the concepts are like, they're trying to talk above my head, and I'm like, I'm like, fuck it.
You lose temples if every third sentence isn't a poop joke.
No, but I mean, this is supposed to be a superhero thing. Don't talk about, like, the Earth is a machine, and it's malfunctioning, and they can't recreate themselves now, so it's like they used to not worry about dying, because the world machine would just it was like building a new body and rebooting them, downloading their information again, and now that's broken, so we got to be careful with ourselves. All kinds of like fucking, I'm like, just fucking, let's get to it already. What's the story? And are they going to be tied to Thanos? Because I think Thanos is tied to them in the comics.
Yes, he's a deviant.
Is he a deviant?
Yeah.
Thought he was
the purple skin
from Titan. They don't all have purple skin.
No, but I thought all the deviants had some kind of
wine stain somewhere on their body.
Well, no, but some kind of deformation.
But I think he's from Titan, and Titan's like this other thing where Star Fox is from. Remember?
Star Fox is a Nintendo video game.
No,
sir.
which one's the rapey guy with the emotion thing?
Star-Lord?
No.
Wait, rapey guy?
They like wrote him out of the books because this thing is like he can like force your emotions. So it's like, all these women probably only dated him because he uses power. I thought it was Star Fox.
Oh, like Purple Man?
No. I mean, yeah, kind of. I'm going to look it up. Hold on. All right,
yeah, because I don't know.
Marvel Star Fox. Is that his name? Or am I just fucking... Yeah, Arrows. Star Fox. This guy. He was an Avenger. Star Fox is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books. Yada, yada, yada. Iron Man 55. See, Iron Man 55. That was with Thanos. First appearance. It was a Jim Starlin creation. Okay. He's depicted as a member of a human offshoot race known as the Eternals. He was born on Titan, where he's the son of Mentor. I think he's a cousin to Thanos. I think, it's one of those small. They're not like gods, but they're, and they're not the Eternals on Earth. They're like the Eternals on Titan, which is like what, a moon around Jupiter or something like that. It's so confusing. Like, I'm gonna have to read. God damn it! I'm gonna leave this page up on my laptop. I'm gonna have to read about all this so I understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Is Star Fox Thanos' brother? No, I don't think he is. I'm not even gonna look. But yeah, he's a abilities. Yeah, they don't even list it there. But he's like not like an empath. But like he can like push your emotions, like he can make you angry or in love or whatever. So I think they were insinuating after like this woke culture and the Me Too movement and all this stuff that maybe this wasn't a character we have in the books anymore, because all these women he dated that were Avengers over the years. Maybe they all feel like he was using his,
it's a little
using his mojo on them.
Just a little bit here and there.
Like the character's a little rapey in hindsight. So,
hey, you really want to come out and have a drink with me?
In the 60s and 70s, it was, you would write that in the comic and go, no one would think twice about it.
Yeah.
It's like he's like the equivalent of putting Spanish fly in her drink or a roofie. And back then, it wasn't, it wasn't frowned upon quite as much as it is now.
Speaking of not being frowned upon, so our favorite Marvel director.
By the way,
what? By the way,
we never talked about who would be better as Kraven.
Do you have anyone in mind?
I mean, the first person that came to mind is the guy that's going to come to mind for a lot of these things until, first of all, if he would get in bulk up and get in super shape, I wouldn't be mad at Keanu Reeves, even though it sort of feels against type.
I don't see Keanu doing that. No,
He'd grow a big bushy mustache. He could do the Russian because he's done like 4 John Wick movies now. But also the other one that is going to get plugged in for every role because he kind of fits any role is Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill is Kraven?
The only reason I wouldn't throw his name out there is because I don't want it to happen in the Sonyverse. I don't want to waste him over there.
Yeah.
I want him as a Marvel character.
Okay. I mean,
but he would fit right into that role. A, we know he could grow a mustache.
We do know he can grow a mustache.
And they wouldn't have to digitally take it out. B, he's jacked. He's got like that burly dude look, the hairy chest and the whatever. I think if he wouldn't look as ridiculous in the actual comic book outfit with the lion head vest and everything.
He's a little too pretty.
I mean, you throw some dirt on him. What are you going to
do? Actually,
he'd have some scars, maybe a big one across his face with a dead eye or something, like a Nick Fury.
Honestly, I think like a
Well, who you got?
I hadn't even thought about it till you brought it up, but off the top of my head, and again, this might be too pretty, but Scott Eastwood.
Oh, way too pretty.
The guy who did what's his name? He was the stunt double for Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool in the Wolverine movie. But he also did he's done a lot of other stuff.
They're not going to cast a nobody.
No, he's not a nobody. He's an actor. Oh, Wolverine Origins. I'll get it for you right now. Actually, I'm thinking Leaf Shriver might be too old.
It's too saber-toothy.
Where is he? Because
I mean, how old is he? He's in his 60s or 50s. He'd be the right age. So's Keanu. That's why I threw Keanu out there. Keanu's got to be late 40s, early 50s.
Fuck, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Ryan Reynolds. Okay.
Dude, who cares?
Anyway, it's a guy. He did a lot of kickboxing stuff. He did some stuff.
He's nobody. They're not. He's not a. Listen,
But
you got.
he's super athletic, super.
You gotta
jacked.
have a name.
He's a good actor. He's
Aaron Taylor Johnson's about as low on the fucking name list as you can go and still allow that to be the casting in the movie. It's Sony. This isn't like Marvel where they'll take a flyer on a Batista for a fucking role in a ensemble. It's called Kraven the Hunter. It's going to rest on the guy that is playing Kraven the Hunter, and they're going to dump like Venom money into it, hoping they get Venom money. It can't be a guy.
It's weird
that the first thing you refer to him as is someone's stunt guy.
It's just funny that you have Tom Hardy as Venom. You have Jared Leto as Morbius, and then you have Kick-Ass as Kraven the Hunter. Oh, and I was wrong. He's also a reality TV guy in the Ultimate Comics. So there's that was the big thing. The easiest.
Kraven.
Yeah, Kraven. So they might do a reality TV angle with him.
I don't think. I mean, it's Sony. Who knows? But I honestly, if you don't just if he's not hunting Spider-Man, I got no. Either. Okay, there's two things he could do. He's either got to be hunting Spider-Man, or he's got to be hunting Venom. Or you could introduce. Here's how you do that movie also. You could also do that movie where I think a character like the Lizard doesn't need Spider-Man in the origin or the story. He could start hunting. You could be, his first caper is he's bored. He finds out about the Lizard. He goes to hunt the Lizard, and then he successfully does that. And then he goes, and then he hears he catches a whiff of Venom because maybe it's all in New York or where. Actually, Venom wasn't in New York, was it? It was in San Francisco or something. Wasn't it on the West Coast somewhere?
Yeah, I think so.
God damn it. They really fucked up. They're fucking up my fucking booking here.
I know.
But there's some way you can have, maybe early on he's hunting the Lizard. And then he realizes there's these abnormal, it's, the Lizard is just another version of Sasquatch or an Ogopogo or a Wendigo. It's just something that's very rare and hard to, or a one-off or a thing, but it's not the usual game. And then there's Venom. If you're not going to use Spider-Man, you know what I mean?
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because, without the Spider-Man tie-in.
What Kraven story is even worth telling from the comics other than Kraven's Last Hunt?
There isn't one.
Right. I couldn't tell you another memorable Kraven story.
No, it's
before or since.
Yeah,
so that's that's the story.
It's got to be the basis of whatever they tell.
So, but my point is that the Kraven movies really is going to be mostly about. Is going to be around who he's hunting. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to want to watch an hour origin about him kind of growing up as some kind of throwback Russian royalty with a little bit of money, and he's just become the greatest hunter in the world. He's bored now. He hunts people, and now he hunts superheroes.
It kind of reminds me of.
Long.
It kind of reminds me of Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit like that. If you introduced him a little bit like that, I think you kind of have you're on the winning track.
Yeah, it's gonna get weird when I just like him more as a throwback character that doesn't fuck with social media. Doesn't he's from Russia, from Russia, this fuck you, this is Russia.
Yeah.
Kind of mentality. He goes places and does things, but he doesn't have and he's got money, but it doesn't mean that he's Instagramming or tweeting everything.
Oh my God! Halfway through hunting Spider-Man, getting TikTok in.
Yeah, he's again. It's is he Kraven the Hunter or is he that character from Army of Dead? Who could shoot 3 zombies with 1 bullet, but he was also all about taking selfies. I don't. If they do that, I'm not watching that fucking movie. It's got to be like old school Russia. I don't need a cell phone. I just have one of those flip ones with the numbers, kind of deal.
One of the old Nokia brick phones.
He doesn't even care about the trophies or the photos or anything. He knows he killed the thing, It'd
be interesting.
He would go out and hear about the biggest bear ever sighted. He would go there, kill it, eat it for a month while he's still just camping in the coldest environment, and it would satisfy him. He's got nothing to prove to anyone but himself. I mean, but that's me booking Kraven the Hunter, not anyone else. I'm definitely not Sony, so Jesus.
No.
I think we're in for a ride with these. I mean, Morbius looks fine.
Yeah, I have nothing. Yeah, just
he looks cool from the few photos.
Yeah,
but it's another one where it's like it's a Spider-Man villain, but do you need Spider-Man to tell that story? No.
I'm just gonna wonder what their end game to all this is.
I don't think they have they didn't have a plan or a buck stops here, one guy with a big vision and like the commitment to still be there in 15 years, seeing it through.
Yeah, fair enough. Everyone's just like, well, this is the next 15 minutes of Sony Studios.
Yeah.
And every 15 minutes it updates.
I kind of like hope see, in a way, I'm like, I'm going to see these movies, so I wish they'd be good. But another way, I'm like kind of hoping they all fail, so all that shit can just go back to Marvel. It's like, it's wasted. It's wasted over there. Thank God they worked out a deal for Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
And Tom Holland's kind of like, no, I'm just going to be Spider-Man here.
Yeah.
It's this is a great way they should work a deal out with Garfield to come back.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, what the fuck's he doing?
Not denying that he's in his next movie.
Right. But I'm saying, like, it's not like he's, headlining all these blockbusters. So maybe a nice return to Spider-Man and a decent payday would be...
I'm not even aware of any movies he's been in since Spider-Man.
Right. I know I've probably been like, oh, there's Andrew Garfield. Yeah. I think he was in one of those Clint Eastwood movies, like one of those war movies. Not Heartbreak Ridge, not Flags of Our Father. He's done a lot of war movie shit. I don't know, but I think he was like a photographer in a war movie or something. Obviously, I didn't see it because I
couldn't tell you, man.
I ran out.
I couldn't tell you.
I used to be very loyal to Clint. Now I'm hit or miss with his directorial.
Well, me and Clint were always best friends until he talked to a chair. And then I was like, I
can't let that get in the way of his movies.
I mean, no. I mean, listen.
He didn't finger a 14-year-old.
He
didn't drug a girl and fuck her while she was asleep.
Yeah.
He
talked to a chair.
He got a little right-wingy and did some kind of thing he thought was funny that wasn't funny. Whatever. I mean,
Speaking of, you see that Kevin Spacey got a movie again.
Yeah, every now and then that broken watch tells the right time. I mean, I don't know the thought process there of the people that were making it. If they're like, well, we can't afford anyone of his caliber who's not a fucking basically an outed predator. He is going to do two things. He's going to bring a lot of
attention,
bad buzz, but like they say,
no such thing.
Any attention is good attention kind of thing. And we're going to have a really good actor in that role who's going to try really hard because he's kind of trying to redeem himself. Kind of like Mel Gibson. There's a couple of movies in there after and between his fuck-ups. You're like, man, this is a great movie that no one saw because nobody was interested in Mel Gibson. But Mel Gibson was always... Mel Gibson always hit a triple or a home run.
Or when he revisited, he revisited Martin Riggs to be the villain in Expendables 3, which was fantastic, by the way. I fucking loved his... the movie was but his part of the movies was great.
Yeah, but I mean, again... Mel Gibson, bit of a racist. Not a fan of the Jews. But he didn't finger a 14-year-old.
No.
He didn't drug and rape some woman.
Just
got
drunk and screamed some.
There are degrees to this stuff.
There are degrees, that's for sure.
So Kevin Spacey definitely is in that other degree. But I could see where they're like thinking a couple things. Like, we're going to get eyes on the movie. Good or bad or indifferent. People can be curious. They're going to also be angry and whatever. But if you're trying to make this movie and you're like, well, we can't afford great actors. This is a great actor you could afford. Guy probably just wants to work at this point.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst idea in the world, because you know what? The other option is your movie A either never gets made or B gets made and nobody, it's like a tree falling in the woods. Nobody even knows it got made or anyone sees it.
I think it's a small personal project for Vanessa Redgrave's husband, and she had to come out, like her team had to come and say, I am not going to be in this movie. Like that was like a right off the bat.
Who's fucking Vanessa Redgrave at this point?
Exactly. It's like
who cares if she's in it or not? Nobody
remembers who she was.
Nobody's getting in a car and driving to a theater to see Vanessa Redgrave in a fucking movie. She's the Oscar Isaac of fucking the last 20 years. What are you talking about?
I know that happened, but I think it's a very small, like, little French movie. Whatever.
And like, so it'll get shown in countries that have a little bit of a looser social, hang up on that shit.
What's 14 really?
Well, in like French dog years, it's like 17. It's like 17 and 11 months.
Yeah.
It's not quite there yet. Still,
you're just being prudes, is what you're doing, America.
I don't think so. No, I think if we really knew the disgusting behavior of Spacey and his
Bryan Singer,
we'd I mean, I think they've both forced many a young boy to suck a dick for a seat at the table in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I look at some of those guys, some of those pretty boys in some of those X-Men movies, and I go, that guy sucked a dick. That guy sucked a dick. And then you see them years and years later popping up and stuff. Like, I'm not saying he did or he didn't. But let's just say the dude that played Iceman, every time I see him pop up in something else, I'm still like, I wonder if he sucked a dick to get into this fucking business. Because I don't remember him before the X-Men. And if your gateway into Hollywood was the X-Men, it's in my mind, it's 50-50 you sucked a dick.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, if it's your thing, it's your thing. But no one should have to suck a dick for a role.
No.
Whether you like sucking dick or not.
Yeah.
Whether, you know.
It should be based purely on the talent of you as an actor.
Whether it's fully consensual and you're of age, suck all the dicks you want. But you still should have to suck one for a job.
Yeah, no, like if you want to suck a dick after you've got the job, that's cool. But you shouldn't have to do it to
as
get
long
the
as
job.
you're 18.
As long as you're of age. Yeah.
Right. It's not a. This isn't a gay thing. Sucking a dick is like it could be. It could have been a lady too. I mean, I don't. I mean, as many Bryan Singers as there are out there, there's a Harvey Weinstein. So
that's true.
And either way, it's sucking a dick.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Well, I'm gonna title this podcast. He sucked a dick.
Well, that's good because we can move on to the final subject I have.
Speaking of sucking dicks,
fucking Taika Waititi is having it on.
Oh
sir.
yeah, definitely. Speaking of
having
sucking dicks.
it on.
Yeah,
that guy is winning.
I was wondering if we should talk about this, but I mean,
we don't have to talk in great length or anything. Or it's just a thing that happened that everyone went, "Whoa!"
I mean, it's the man's social life, and it
happened in public.
I know, but we're not we don't do gossip that much. But as far
I'm just
as
giving him props.
As far as like nerdcast and nerd culture goes, this is making people's heads explode that live in basements.
Oh.
This is making incels everywhere think they've got a shot.
You have no shot.
They don't understand that Taika's actually cool.
Yeah, like
he may read a lot of comics and know all the lore and be able to pop a reference out of his ass at any time. He is not one of you.
And by the way, fuck him for Jojo Rabbit, because when that fucking kid found his mom hung in the square,
movie?
Bro.
When did you see that?
Oh, a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you didn't tell me you saw it.
Dude.
I would have come over and just like really quietly recorded you.
Dude.
You know how many, like I've seen that movie about 10 times.
Yeah.
You will notice on later viewings how many shots he purposely makes you look at her shoes so that you know those are her shoes when you see them hanging in the gallows.
Oh my God.
There's like all these frame shots, all these, like he ties her shoes at one point. Well, he ties them when she's hanging, but there's like all these scenes, close-ups of her dancing with him. Like he wants you, that the image of her shoes be burned in your memory for when you see him there, so he doesn't have to show you anything else. It's fucking good. Oh, that's good. God. You need to see Hunt for the Wilder People, I think it is. It's Taika's movie. I think it's what got him a Thor. Because Taika wasn't like a big name until he did Thor.
No, he wasn't.
This movie has Sam Neill as a curmudgeon-y, like New Zealander who wants to be left alone, and it has the kid that was in Deadpool 2.
Okay.
And it's like, I'll give you a brief. Like Sam Neill, like the kid's bounced from like foster home to foster home. No one's adopted him or never takes. Sam Neill and his wife adopt him because she wanted to raise a kid or whatever. He's there for like a week, or maybe he's there for a cup of coffee and the wife drops dead. And then Sam Neill's stuck with this kid. And Sam Neill hasn't spoken more than like one word to him, and all this time he's grunts at him and whatever.
Oh my God.
And basically tolerates the kid. And then he kind of just decides he's going to ditch the kid by going for he's going to go off in the woods for like 6 months. And the kid ends up following him or vice versa. It's something like that. And it ends up being like they're on the run from the law together in the woods. And they're outsmarting people and they're doing the survivalist stuff. And of course they get closer and closer. And eventually, it becomes father and son kind of. Dude, the movie is fucking hilarious. The movie's fantastic. Like if you, in your are you working Monday? Or do you...
Actually, I have Monday off for the first time.
Well, Mazel Tov.
It's great to work for someone who isn't a shitbag.
I'm still waiting for that. In your extended weekend, you should try and fit that movie in. It's fantastic. It's the same quality of a Jojo Rabbit or Ragnarok or any of these. So let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Because 2 women did.
Yeah. Probably still are. I don't know. Who's the other one?
Rita Ora.
Who is that?
Rita Ora is a singer.
Okay, so he's banging. So we're saying he's in a throuple?
Or is she like a model? She's like a model singer, kind of shit.
Whichever one becomes successful first. She's
and Tessa Thompson, we all know.
Right, from, I guess...
Thor.
There's a perk
Creed.
to working with pretty women.
Yep.
If you're funny, they might suck a dick.
Yeah.
Or
maybe they'll do it together. It's just team building exercise.
Well, she probably was like, "Well, I don't have a microphone, but let me show you how we can duet on this dick." You think they sang "Islands in the Stream" on his dick?
So this podcast has gone left, middle left.
It's so. First of all, fucking, I'm so proud of the guy.
Yeah, no,
I am so happy for the guy that he, listen, man. We all just hope one day the girlfriend or the wife goes, be home early tomorrow. I got a gift for you, and it may not even be your birthday. It may not even be your anniversary. It may just be Happy Wednesday. But on that day...
It's a happy Wednesday.
That day, she has brought you the present of presents. Which is another naked girl to fool around with. It's just it's a beautiful thing. And
I love that he did it.
So the photos are of them all making out together.
Yeah, I love that he did
Where
it
were
in
they?
public. Oh, so fucking
Were they on like a private balcony, like some of the apartment?
Something
or
like dude, I honestly don't know.
Or they weren't like at a soccer game, is what I'm saying, in like a box.
I would I would have to look it up.
Like an
All I know
box.
is he made sure cameras were present.
I don't think he made sure, but because like, yeah, you want to brag about it to your boys,
Yeah.
but you're afraid that if they find out or it gets out, then they're going to cut it off, and you want to keep. Listen.
You're doing it this way. All three of you know exactly what you're doing, so nobody could get mad at anything.
I'm like,
he's doing it the right way,
and I'm
really.
like thinking like what, like how much of the combinations has he worked through?
Yeah.
There's a lot to, like the Kama Sutra book. If the normal one's like 100 pages, when you add another person to it, it becomes 1,000 pages worth of stuff.
It's a lot of research.
Oh my God. I'm so happy. I don't know why. I don't know the dude.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for him.
I'm all for him, man.
Does that make me look bad that I'm happy for this guy?
He's batting 1,000 in life right now.
I know he is.
Every movie he touches is great. His on-screen stuff is perfect.
And like he seems like the genuine. He's like Tim Tebow.
Yep.
He's real.
Yeah.
Like what you see is what you get. It's not a work. There's no facade. He's not playing a character.
Nope.
He's not going to slip up and you're going to find out. Listen, I didn't know I didn't know he was perverse.
Yeah.
God bless him. Although it's not that perverse. It's not like it's as far as my preferences run, it's the right kind of threesome, It's not. What do they call it? The Devil's Threesome?
Yeah.
The other one?
The Devil's Triangle or something? Yeah.
I don't know. You don't want to get lost there. Unless that's your thing. Listen, if you like sucking dick, you got it's variety. It's like going to a buffet, a dick buffet. If you're like, goodness. Well, I can't make up my mind on the menu. Do I want dick or do I want dick? Oh. Just get them both.
I'll take him to go. Oh man, it's good for our boy Taika because he's reinvented a Marvel character.
He earned it,
and yeah, he's earned it. He's earned the right to be this awesome.
Well, it'd be funny if his next small movie's gonna be about this.
Oh my god!
And all three of them just play themselves in it. Basically, they're just making a home movie for me.
That the studio's going to pay for?
Yeah.
This is a really expensive vacation.
Right.
Oh, my trip to Greece.
It's funny.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know.
When did this whole throuple thing come about?
This week is when it all kind of popped up.
No, I mean the term.
Oh, throuple's been around for
I feel like it's only been
years.
around. No. I feel like it's been around 9 months. I feel like this is an invention of the pandemic.
No. Because I knew someone in a throuple a couple years ago. Yeah. And that it ended as well as you thought it was going to end.
Just I'm gonna turn
you
the
don't know him. You don't know him. He's a.
Was it the right kind or was it the?
No, it started out the right kind. Then one of them got pregnant and wanted the other girl out of the picture so she could have the perfect family. And,
but if your perfect family originates from
exactly
this kind of
it all ended poorly is all you need to know.
If I just start naming people that I know,
you literally won't know this person.
Yeah,
you've never met this.
Is he
person.
local?
No, he was a high school friend.
I wonder if we can get him on for the other podcast just to talk about it.
No. No,
we won't name names.
Because he's got 2 kids now. One's
but who would know? It's just some dude on our podcast.
Yeah,
we're not naming names.
I haven't spoken to him in a decade or more.
Oh,
a lot of this I know from talking with old high school friends.
I thought this was
hey.
I thought this was a more current.
We're like every now and then we hang out with someone.
I feel like you're saying all this so we don't have to call him.
I legitimately wouldn't know how to contact him.
Facebook, like everyone.
I'm not gonna reach out.
Hey, I heard you used to bang 2 women at the same time.
Everyone knows.
Can we talk? Yeah. Can we talk about it on my podcast?
Yeah, that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't go over so well. Oh shit, Ben. Have we talked enough? I don't even know anymore, man.
I don't know.
I have nothing else to say because not a whole lot came out this week, and I still haven't seen. I watched Mighty Ducks.
I watched a few MODOKs. That's okay. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
It's not a priority.
Maybe we'll talk about MODOK next week.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of stuff you have to watch.
Yeah, exactly. How many episodes are there?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's a good question. I only watched the first 2, and then my roommate and his girlfriend were watching them while I was doing other stuff. So I was catching glimpses of things, and I was like, "Oh, this seems pretty funny. I'll have to rewatch it sometime." But same thing with the Mighty Ducks. He watched them all. I was kind of like doing other things, and I don't know. All right, yeah, I'm done with this.
Yeah, let's everybody have a happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Or I hope everyone had a happy Memorial Day weekend because this comes out on Tuesday.
Some of you, I hope, do. The rest of you, fuck off.
All right, Cheeky Baby.
Cheeky Baby, signing off, you jabroni.